Hello and welcome back to Solid. Thank you guys very much for joining me. You know what we do here. We do smart football but dumb. We appreciate the football nerds. We like to think like football nerds sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're all just concussion uncles. That's all we are. My name is Jake. It is Friday, July 17th, and there's a fly in my room still. I've killed 3 of them in like the past 30 minutes, and I'm bothered by it. It keeps hitting the window real hard. Like it's starting in the back of the room over there and then just flying straight at the window and making a big thud. Um so that's what I'm dealing with. That's my adversity. Uh yeah, I don't know, let's do this. I we're going to continue our little preview of every division. We're still on the NFC South. Last time we did the positives of every team, three positive things that every team did in the offseason, 3 changes they did or did not make, 3 moves that they did or did not make. We're on the negatives now, baby. We're on the negatives. We do a positive one because you like to hear all the good things that your team did, and that's good. You don't give a shit about the other good things that the other teams in the division did. And maybe since it's the NFC South, you don't give a shit about anything that this division does, that's real. I get that. It's looking through all these things, not a lot that these teams did. Been a relatively um, not exciting offseason for the NFC South. Uh, yeah, not a lot of guys coming in, a lot going out. Let's get into it. We're talking shit on people today. We're like I said, always we're going down in the divisional ranking from last year. So obviously we have to start with the Panthers, who won the division with their juggernaut level 8-9 record. The big thing that I think that the most important bad thing that they did, I don't necessarily want to call it bad because it's good, but it's bad that the Panthers did. Jalen Phillips, they got Jalen Phillips. They went out and got him in free agency. I think that's a very smart thing to do. Jalen Phillips absolutely rocks. The problem is that one, the big one for me is his contract. They paid him $30 million a year. That's a fuckload of money. That is a shitload of money for for an edge rusher. And I believe what the reason they did this, because I mean the running thought is that the Eagles are going to try to keep him. They traded a 3rd round pick for him. They traded a 3rd round pick to the Dolphins at the trade deadline last year for Jalen Phillips. The thought was that they were going to try to pay him and bring him back. That ended up not happening. He went to Panthers, and Eagles got Jonathan Grenard. That's not what we're talking about. But I think for Jalen Phillips, because again, $25 million, 26 maybe is 26, 27 maybe is where Howie Roseman's starting to think about throwing that money. You get to 30, what they blew the market out, they blew his market out of the water. Like it was like, okay, yeah, no, he's paying $30 million. Jalen, have fun going to Carolina. I don't think there was ever a situation where Howie Roseman talked to his agent and was like, could you take a distance? It's like, no, you get paid $30 million a goddamn year. You're gonna go. You're gonna go there. They made it. The Panthers made it so there was no argument, and I believe that is coming kind of stemming from last year with their Milton Williams debacle. If you don't remember what that was, at the beginning of free agency last year, we all kind of knew that Milton Williams was going to get a big time payday, and Schefter or Ian Rappaport, one of these bigwig football insiders, reported that Milton Williams is going to sign with the Panthers, and that the deal was going to get done. Turns out, right before they threw a pen in his hand, or a metaphorical pen. You guys understand what I mean, but I don't have to explain metaphors to you. You're smart enough. Um, right before that, like became final, the Patriots came in and paid Milton Williams a shit ton more money. I think what did he make like $120 million contract or something like that. So he just left and went to theirs. It's like the Panthers thought they had this. They thought they had their defensive tackle of the future, and then he just got fucking yoinked away from him by a team paying more money. So I think that in order to make sure that didn't happen this year with Jalen Phillips, they wanted to get their edge rusher of the future, and they were like, fucking here. if we wanted to kill you, we could do it with one bullet, but I'm gonna fucking shoot you with an RPG. Like they just overkill for the contract. I think he's worth it. I will say I do think it's not like they're paying $30 million to some schlub. It's not like when the Eagles paid 15, 16, whatever, $16.5 million a year to Bryce Huff. It's like, well, that's a bit rich. But yeah, so I think that's good. The other thing with the Jalen Phillips is that they need him to be the guy. And that can be a problem for him because he's an injury guy. It's not great. He's had an Achilles. He had his ACL on his other leg. That caused him to miss 2 seasons. I believe the 22 and 23 seasons, or was it 23 and 12? Which he missed 2 seasons because of some pretty gruesome knee injuries, and that were non-contact ones. Where you can see like when Joe Burrow blew his knee into a billion pieces, it's because he got hit in the side of the leg. Yeah, soft tissue injury sucks. That was a contact injury. Jalen Phillips is our non-contact ones. That's not good. And then on top of that, and this is kind of a weird thing, I think where did he play ball initially at? Did he play ball initially at UCLA? Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Yes, he played ball at UCLA. And you'll hear people be like, yeah, he actually medically retired from football when he was at UCLA because of concussions. What that actually is that UCLA has they're one of the very few teams, honestly, I've never heard of another school doing it, where if you have this number of concussions, I can't remember if it's like the total number of concussions or this number of concussions all within a certain time frame, they force you to medically retire. Jalen Phillips says, okay, I'll medically retire. Double birds, fuck you, walking out the door, goes to Miami, plays there. So, and this is University of Miami in Florida, not the Dolphins, which he ended up playing at. But, so yeah, he has had concussion issues. He didn't medically retire. He was forced to medically retire because it's not like he was like, I think I'm done. My brain hurts. He was forced. You guys understand. So, injuries aside, I think that they paid a lot for this that they might not have needed to pay. Again, Jalen Phillips, great football player, can set the edge, can get after the quarterback, is tenacious, big, massive, huge dude. $30 million. It seems like that was a bit of an overreaction from what happened the year before that. Second thing that I think is going to go poorly for them, Chuba Hubbard is their running back one. And the only addition that they made to that running back room was that they added A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon stinks. So this is their running back room. Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks, who is coming. When is he actually healthy? He doesn't have a Q next. He doesn't have any red next to his name. Maybe he's healthy. He was the one that, I think it was an ACL or something like that his rookie season or before it started, and then he had another one. So Jonathan Brooks, so we just simply don't know how good he is, but still, it's not great. And then Trevor Etienne, Trevor Etienne. Man, I suck at this. Which is Travis Etienne's brother, and A.J. Dillon. It's not a good running back room. It's not. Hubbard last year, I mean, because he kind of came out in 2024, was like, oh fuck, this guy rocks. And then last year he had 6 straight starts where he was getting double-digit carries, which is great. And then Rico Dowdle had those 2 games where he ripped off a couple. What did that end up being? Rico Dowdle's 2 games. I think it was week 5 and 6. Yeah, 206 yards against the Dolphins and 183 yards against the Cowboys in weeks 5 and 6. So yeah, he earned that starting spot. I don't necessarily know if I would count that as Chuba Hubbard losing that starting spot. But it's not great, It's not a good. I would have liked to see them do more at running back than what they did. Now, I've said it before, the running back market this offseason stinks, so it's not like there's a whole lot that they could do, but let's see who we got available still over the cap. Because I believe there are a handful. It's nothing that's going to, like, knock your dick off or anything like that. We're looking at, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb. Dare Agumbawale, Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Alexander Madison, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders ain't coming back. Khalil Herbert, Chase Edmonds, Hassan Haskins, Zamir White. It's a bunch of gross names. You know, you want to sign Nick Chubb in 2026? I don't. You want to sign Joe Mixon? I don't. Najee Harris? Maybe. He's coming off of an Achilles. There's things that they can do, but right now it's just kind of shitty. I think if you're trying to see what Bryce Young can do, like one kind of final evaluation year before you decide whether or not you're going to pay the dude, I think I would like a running game that stands a chance. You know what I mean? Like I think I would like them to be able to get like some talent back there. I don't know. To try to at least make it easy for Bryce Young. That way, maybe you finally do sign him, and then you're like, okay, it's time to get a running back, and we just don't. I don't know. It seems like they could have done more than just get AJ Dillon. Ugh, I don't know. It's gross. I like a lot of what the Panthers did, which they didn't do a whole lot this offseason, but I like the way that they're kind of building this team, and then it's Chuba Hubbard. Now watch him end up fucking running for 1,200 yards or some bullshit like that, and I'm going to be tugging my dick over here. Like, Chuba Hubbard, not good. Whatever. Okay, third thing that they did, and I said this before, is that sometimes you kind of, I'm doing three things because rule of threes, and I think that's important rule to follow just because it kind of gives flow and everything like that. You don't really give a shit. The third thing, I'm reaching for it here. Kenny Pickett is their QB2. Their quarterback room is Bryce Young, Kenny Pickett, and Haynes King, who was a UDFA, is a UDFA from Georgia Tech. That's not. They traded Andy Dalton to the Eagles for a 7th round pick. It's just not a. We've seen Bryce Young get the plug pulled on him before, and if you're gonna try to salvage, because it's not. Maybe they want to. Maybe Bryce Young goes back to being the ding dong that he has, rather than the spot where he would turn into a sleeper agent for a half of a drive at a time to a full drive at a time, maybe once or twice a game, and just absolutely move the ball downfield and just kill everybody. Maybe he reverts back to the 5'9" guy. And stinks, and they gotta pull, because it's not just like they're trying to assess what Bryce Young is, but they also got guys they need to they got like Ted McMillan. Like you got to make sure that you're I mean it is his second year, and its second year is when those elite receivers do kind of break out. I kind of want to make sure that I'm forcing that on Ted McMillan. I don't want to just have like some stinker bell back there. Being a bad quarterback and hindering this guy's like progression as a player, because it could very quickly go from Bryce Young being the center of the Panthers world this year to Ted McMillan. In a perfect world, Bryce Young stays that guy, and you get really excited about him, and he uses Ted McMillan rather than Ted McMillan needs somebody to be able to get him the ball. And if it isn't Bryce Young, we saw Kenny Pickett, man. Sorry, Super Bowl winning quarterback Kenny Pickett. It's not good. It's a bad quarterback room. It'd be nice if they had somebody else, fucking anybody else, not anybody else, and I'll get to that. But Andy Dalton would have been nice to have in that room still. I think that's a 7th round pick for Andy Dalton. And then I guess the Eagles did give him a little bit of money too, so that kind of goes along with it. But I don't know. It's gross, and if things go south, which they very well could, it's gonna go south big time. So that's the Panther stuff. Buccaneers came in second last year with another 8-9 record. Thing that I don't like that they did, and I'm kind of mixed on this one. This is the first thing. They haven't given Baker Mayfield a contract yet. And back in June, he was talking. He's like, yeah, we're actually nowhere close to a contract at all. And then he also said that once training camp starts, they're not talking about the contract extension. So they've got 9 days now to do it. I think the Buccaneers veterans report on the 26th. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty. Regardless, they're running out of time. They are running out of time. Quick, fast, and in a hurry to get something done with Baker Mayfield. His price could either skyrocket, his price could plummet. They're making a very big gamble. Now, I think that they should. I think they should pay him. That's why I said that. I think it's a mistake that they haven't. Sure, the gamble that you're making there is Baker Mayfield has a very specific and awesome play style where he kind of just puts it on the line. He's like if he had Josh Allen's body, he would be a god. If he was built like a brick shithouse like that, he would be a god. He's not, and he gets hurt, and that's kind of been his calling card. Like last year, he was getting hurt. I think I brought this up on the last spot. Is that the Bucks? FTN Fantasy has that really good stat: the adjusted games lost due to injury, and the Buccaneers on offense had the 29th highest adjusted games lost. So they were very, 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 very injured on offense, and that really hurt him. And I mean, Baker Mayfield's not exactly he was part of that. Now, I get not wanting to pay that kind of guy, a guy that plays like that, big money. However, going into quarterback limbo is not a hell that these guys want to really go down. I don't think. Like, I don't know. This seems like it seems like they don't know what they got. They do know what they got. They don't. It seems like they don't appreciate what they got. Maybe that's the right way. It's like, Baker's good, dude. Baker's a good quarterback. Like he's like gets his team going. Like if there's ever a part where the Bucks offense looks like they're kind of like, oh my god, these guys can't do nothing, Baker'll just fucking rip off like a 12-yard run and steamroll an undersized nickel and plant the ball in his face mask, kick him in the face, take out his pee and just pee all over him, and be like, fuck yeah, we're fired up now. This is some shit that we got going on here. And I don't know. It seems like the Bucks don't really appreciate him. It's weird where we're at with Baker, man. It's weird. It seems it's not totally different than that, like when he left Cleveland, because like he was hurt there too, and they didn't want to pay it. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But I don't like that they haven't paid. I think that they should pay him. I think you pay good quarterbacks, and you understand that injuries happen. Some people's play style. I don't. There's, it's but I don't know. It's tough. Other thing I don't like that they did, they fired Josh Grizzard. Sure. I'm a fan of getting rid of non-elite offensive coordinators. Everybody in the NFL does it. There are 21 new offensive coordinators this year. I don't like hearing like, oh my God, nobody's got any continuity. Another new offensive coordinator. It's like, that's what happens, man. You get new offensive coordinator. Like that's just the reality of the NFL now. Those guys, if they're not good, they get canned. If they are good, they get hired somewhere else. Like that's just what happens with offensive coordinators. And they got rid of Josh Grizzard because he didn't do a good job last year. They had that massive collapse. Yeah, they had that big. Yeah, I'll call them that. They had that massive collapse at the end of last season after the bye. What did I say? They went 7-2 after the bye. They went into the bye 6-2. They came out of the bye and went 2-7 going into the bye. They were 6-2. So like it was big drop off. Again, a lot of it due to injuries. However, I like to know that an offensive coordinator can do a lot with less. That's how you know a guy's a good offensive coordinator. They got rid of him. They hired Zach Robinson, who was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta for the last 2 years under Raheem Morris. I don't know. Really? Like, that's the best you can do? Like, Baker, I think I said this too, is that Baker seems like he might be like more one of those guys where that the system that he plays in is a big thing. He's not a system guy, but the system that he plays in is something. I mean, obviously, it's not like a hot take or anything like that because there's a lot of guys like that. But Zach like, you didn't look at the Falcons' offense last year and like, holy shit, they're doing some preposterous new level stuff. Like, it was just kind of meh. I mean, they had Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan. Those are good playmakers, not quarterbacks. And Kirk and and Michael Penis, like it wasn't like great or like you dishing stuff out like it again. If you can do more with less, that means you're good. And Zach Robinson didn't really do a lot with good, so I mean, at least the changing, that's a good thing, but huh? Really? You think Zach Robinson? You really think Zach Robinson? Like, he's a McVay guy, but he doesn't have anywhere close to that kind of consistent success. And I've heard offensive coordinators talk about this kind of thing. And the people that hire the offensive coordinators and the teams and everything, you get a new offensive coordinator and you don't necessarily want to hire a guy that's coming in with a plan, coming in with a scheme or something like that. But you don't want to hire the scheme because that's the point of the coach, is they have to be able to actually explain the scheme to people. Congratulations on spending so many years with Sean McVay with Kyle Shanahan. Like, that's great. Like, Brian Fleury is going to be the Seahawks' new offensive coordinator. That's great. He spent a lot of time with Kyle Shanahan. If you don't know how to teach it, buddy, you're fucked. You're fucked from the jump. You are so fucked from the jump. It seems like maybe Zach Robinson's that kind of guy. I don't know. Like, it's just if you spend that much time with these smart guys, and there's some guys that have come from that Shanahan McVay tree that end up doing really good, and it just doesn't seem like Zach Robinson's that cat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Especially with how many offensive coordinators were out there this year. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Third big thing that I didn't like, that they kept Todd Bowles. And this is just something that let me see. He's 35-30 for his regular season record. Since how long has Todd Bowles been their coach? Has it been since 2022? Todd Bowles, I believe it has been since 2022. Yes. So because he was with them from 2019 to 2021. They promoted him in 2022. He's 35-30 in the regular season. Tad over 500. I mean, 5 games over 500. That's good. He's 1-3 in the postseason, and their postseason losses haven't been good. And their one postseason win, that was 2023 against that shit Eagles team at the end of their own collapse. Like, that's not you're not like fucking got him. You're like, yeah, man, you should have beat this shit out of him, and you did. Like, that's hey, bud, congratulations to you for doing that. But then they go out. It's just that they're not. The postseason is a pride. I need a coach. This is kind of my thing with Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, good coach, great coach in the regular season. Ends up shitting his dick off whenever he gets to the postseason. It's like, how much. I need something from you. And Todd Bowles has had his chances, and he was also just a head coach to a collapse. I get keeping him. I don't like it. It's like keeping a offensive or a GM whenever like you're on thin ice. It's like, if he's on thin ice, then get him the fuck out of there, because then you get into a situation where they start making decisions to save their job. I don't think Todd Bowles is that kind of guy, because I think he's kind of a dipshit. Whereas, like, you think about last year with Brian Daboll, he's like, he wants to save his job. He's going to just start having Jackson Dart dive headfirst into people and just get blown up on the sideline. It's like, that's fucking, yeah, he's doing that to save his own job. I don't think Todd Bowles is really going to do that, because he's boring and lame. I don't like keeping him. I think if a guy's on thin ice, you just cut him there and you're good. Now, there is a track record. I mean, I wanted Nick Sirianni fired after the 2023 season. I was wrong. I'm going to tell you when I'm wrong. I absolutely will. I could be wrong about this. I think I'm right. So that's the Buccaneers. Falcons. One thing I don't like that they did, so they signed Jawan Taylor in free agency. It's not a big contract. It's 1 year, $5 million. He is going to be battling with... who's he going to be battling with? With Wanya Morris. So both of these guys come from the Chiefs. I would have, how in fantasy that you're like, man, if that guy falls to me, I'll end up taking him, but I really hope somebody else picks him so I don't have to deal with it. Like, I really hope that happens. So I really hope that somebody else picks Ricky Pearsall so I don't have to do it. the Falcons ended up doing it, and it. Jawan Taylor in 2025, he had the eighth most penalties in the NFL with 10. In 2024, he had the second most penalties in the NFL with 16. In 2023, he had the most with 20, which is fucking nuts. If you remember that game in Detroit where he just kept lining up offside, or not, he kept false starting and illegal procedure stuff, too many men in the backfield, that kind of shit. The guy loves penalties. And this is maybe not a conspiracy theory, for lack of a better phrase. At the time that they signed him, the refs had not signed their CBA, which meant that there might have been the replacement refs. They have since signed that CBA. If conspiracy theory, that was a gamble. If they were going to do replacement refs, one of two things could have happened. The refs could have been so bad that they just didn't call any of the penalties, and Jawan Taylor, who's good when he's not being penalized, but he'll just set you back 5-10 yards just like that, like he's addicted to it. If there was the replacement refs, he could just not get called for any penalty and be fucking all pro. Or the replacement refs could have called entirely too many penalties, and he would have just been absolutely 20 penalties. He was his record in 2023. Try 40 if the replacement refs were bad. Again, not really an issue because it's not a thing anymore. So he's just back to his usual very penalized guy. I don't like it. Good player when he's good, or when he's not penalized, but he's penalized, buddy. Find you a guy who hates the rules more than him. Second thing, I kind of alluded to this with the last show. There's a lot of Cleveland that went to Atlanta, and it's bad vibes. So they hired Kevin Stefanski. They got rid of Raheem Morris. I said that. They got Kevin Stefanski. With him, he brought Tommy Rees, who was the passing game coordinator and offensive coordinator with the Browns since 2024. Now he's the Atlanta's OC. They have Alex Van Pelt, who was Cleveland's offensive coordinator from 2020 to 2023. Now he's Atlanta's quarterback coach. They brought Bill Callahan, who's a good offensive coordinator, or a good offensive line coach, I should say, because that's what he is. I don't know. Whatever. He was Cleveland's offensive line coach from 2020 to 2023. Good offensive line coaches don't grow on trees. It's a hot commodity. I think that if you have a good one, you bring it with you. It's just a lot of Cleveland, It's just a lot of Cleveland that's coming with them. Oh my God, I had a chopped cheese earlier and my heart is on fire. I don't know, his offensive lines, they're good at pass blocking relative to the rest of the NFL. Pretty mediocre historically in run blocking. If you got a guy like Bijan Robinson, who's going to be the running back, now that they don't have Tyler Algier, hopefully it's just the Bijan show. Who else do they have behind him? Brian Robinson Jr., Tyler Goodson, Nathan Carter. So Brian Robinson Jr., his shine's kind of fallen off. Oh my God, I forgot that they have B Robinson and B Robinson. Oh, so many people are fucked. So many people are fucked picking. Oh, so many people are going to be fucked when they're during fantasy. That's mean. What number? So Bijan is what, 7? Is that right? Bijan is 7. Please tell me. Okay, Brian Robinson is at least number 15. If Brian Robinson was a single-digit number, whether it be, I guess, really kind of just one. Seven's not a number that you can really mix up. That could have been Harry. If they would have been a number that you could confuse, that one's jumping up to the top of this list. But I don't know. I would like an offense or an offensive line coach who has had a little bit more historic success with developing good run blocking schemes. Is he their run game coordinator? I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to speak out of my ass and say that he is. It's just a lot of Cleveland. If I'm hiring Kevin Stefanski, I'm like, hey Kev, welcome in your boys. If they don't have any chicks, they're gonna have to wait outside. All right, you can come in, but after you, it's 1 in, 1 out. Unless there's chicks with them, then you can. Hey, Tommy, Alex, Bill, you guys are gonna have to wait. Bill, you can come in, Bill, but Alex and Tommy, you guys are gonna have to hang out there. So I don't like that. There's just a lot of Cleveland. I don't necessarily know if I want a lot of Cleveland. Third thing that they did that I didn't like, they didn't do really enough at wide receiver. The big extension of the offseason was Drake London. Another one they extended was Kyle Pitts, which some people don't like that because they don't think that he's really worth the money. I think that he is. In the draft, they got Zachariah Branch. He's teensy, man. He's a teensy guy. I didn't realize he was 5'8", 177. I think that he would probably be a slot guy almost exclusively. He's fine. He's not really fine. He's not really fine. We're being negative here. Good when he gets the ball in his hands. He's explosive. Fuck, dude. He's small, dude. He's small. I don't. What pick did they use on him? Because they didn't have a first round pick because they're fucking ding dongs. Let's see. Can I blow this up? Where did they pick? Zachariah Branch was a third round guy. It's just like, man. I would have liked for them to do a little bit more at wide receiver. There, again, are still some wide receivers out there. Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, Curtis Samuel, DeAndre Hopkins, Noah Brown, Keenan Allen, Josh Reynolds, Zay Jones. It's a bunch of I don't know. It's not great. I think that they could have done more. So right now, their wide receiver room is Drake London. Their pass catchers. Their wide receiver room is Drake London, Jahan Dotson, Olamide Zaccheaus, and Zachariah Branch. Olamide Zaccheaus and Jahan Dotson. This is just Eagles wide receiver 3 room behind Drake London. If I'm trying to find out if Tua can be a guy for us or if Michael Penix comes back, I think I would like for him to have more than just one wide receiver target that he's really going to be able to throw to. I mean, Jahan Dotson, you would love for him to be good. Olamide Zaccheaus can be good. They're just not consistent guys. Jahan Dotson is just, he's got like one of the worst yards per target in the NFL, man. It's not good. So yeah, I think their wide receiver room stinks. I would have liked to see them try to go after. So I would have at least liked to see them like be in the conversation for something. You know, I maybe they didn't get AJ Brown. I would have been fun if they would have been like, oh, rumored. No, there was just nothing like that. I don't know. Just didn't do a whole lot. For the Saints, number one, and this is always going to be my number one. This is something that I've been harping on for a while now. Stop signing Zach Wilson, guys. What are we fucking doing? You know, why are we now? He is only making like $1.2 million or something like that, but he's a roster spot, man. Stop it. Stop signing Zach Wilson. Why are we signing? He sucks. Why you can't change him. He's terrible. Stop signing. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What has he been with since he left the Jets? Is it just the Dolphins? If it's just the Dolphins, I'm gonna feel like a dick. I'm not gonna feel like a dickhead. This guy sucks. It's taking a long time to load. Whenever it loads, I'll let you know. Okay, it just loaded. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So it's Jets, Dolphins, and now with the Saints. I don't know. Stop it. Stop paying this guy. Stop giving him any credence. Release him. Let him go to the Wild. Let him go to the UFL. Fucking let him go bang a mom or something like that. I don't stop it. Why? It's a waste of a roster spot, and that's the problem. Is that their quarterback room? So it's Tyler Shuck, hell yeah. It is Spencer Rattler, Zach Wilson, and then Hunter Deckers, who I believe they got from the UFL. So it's just not a good. It's not a good. Like, if Tyler Shuck goes down at any point and Spencer Rattler has to come in, are you really going to do that for that long? I guess you're kind of forcing yourself to do Spencer Rattler because you're not going to put Zach Wilson in the fucking game. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is it's unbelievable. Ugh, stop it. Another problem that I think the thing that was done for them is letting Luke Fortner go. He was their center for most of the season last year. Eric McCoy is their starting center, and he's good. He's a good center. Injured guy, another injured guy. In the past 2 seasons, he missed 20 games. It's been a groin, it's been a bicep, it's been an elbow. The guy's missed a lot of time for a lot of reasons. Luke Fortner didn't sign for like a massive like contract or anything like that. Let me look on Spot Rack. Okay, I have to click the search bar. Spot Rack, Luke Fortner. He signed 2.7 with the Panthers. It's not breaking the bank, and it gives you like some good like depth behind him, because then, I mean, I guess you could have Cesar Ruiz come over to center if Eric McCoy goes down, if/when Eric McCoy. It just would be a lot easier if they had a designated. I mean, obviously, it would be if you're going to put Zach Wilson on your roster and you're not going to have goddamn Luke Fortner. Don't tell me. Don't give me like, yeah, it'd be great to have a designated backup at every position. Yeah, it fucking would. You're wasting one with Zach Wilson. You could have a backup, a designated backup center with Luke Fortner. They don't. I think that's dumb. I think that he was a good depth guy. I think that he can hold his own if Eric McCoy goes down. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully that all this stuff is just bad and unlucky. He said it was unlucky. That's what I would also say. They need a pass rusher is my third thing. They didn't get one. Right now, it is Chase Young is their guy. Carl Granderson's fine. Cam Jordan, they re-signed him because they'll re-sign him until he's done playing. They got Caden Ellis, which I really like him as a linebacker, but he's a linebacker. He's going to be blitzing. I want a guy that's going to be able to line up as a defensive end, as an edge rusher, and be able to get after the quarterback. You know, the problem is that the Saints are in perpetual cap hell because Mickey Loomis is a ding-dong. You know, so they don't exactly have the money to be able to shell out for somebody big. You know, I don't necessarily even know if they have the trade capital to be able to go after Max Crosby. I haven't looked at what their, let's see, Saints draft picks 2027. Okay. I mean, yeah, they've got a 1, 2, 3, 2 4s, 5, 6, 7. They've got picks to be able to go after like a Max Crosby or something. I don't think they're going to be able to afford him though. Like it's so they're kind of in their own cap. They just didn't, again, kind of the same thing with the Falcons and a wide receiver. I just would like to see the Saints kind of be in something, you know, just go for it, you know, just like do something, you know, stop doing this and do something because pass rush stinks. It's the most important person in all of professional sports is a quarterback because they touch the ball in every single play. The second most important person on a football team is the guy who has the best chance of stopping the quarterback consistently, and that's an edge rusher, man. That's why they're paid so much goddamn money, okay? And if you don't have a good one of those, you're missing the second. If the second most important person on your team stinks, or like Chase Young doesn't stink but isn't consistently good, you kind of just dickless. And you don't want to be dickless. You know, it's, again, they put themselves in this perpetual cap hell. If I recall correctly, it all comes from the 2020, because Mickey Loomis tried to do all that void year stuff with the contracts and everything like that. And if I recall correctly, I think that they're still in this cap hell from the 2020 salary cap going down. I think or maybe it was the 2020, whichever salary cap year went down. I think that they're still in that. I think their cap hell is still, this is a domino from that. But man, it's the Saints. Come on, the Saints. Like, your defense was doing better at the end of last season. I don't necessarily think that's a sticky thing. I don't necessarily think they're going to come out and be picking up right where they left off on defense. And they got rid of Alontae Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quincy Riley on the back end in case Brandon Staley wanted to do that thing, that Fangio scheme thing where you build with smothering coverage to help the pass rush, whereas the pass rush gets after, like a tenacious pass rush gets after the quarterback to help the coverage. I don't know, man. It's yucky. It's yucky. It's like I want them now that the Sean Payton's got, I want him to be good. And it's fucking Kellen Moore. Go Birds, man. I want him to do good. And he's got this. That's tough. Okay. That's it. Talking about we're wrapping up the NFC South. The Panthers do start their training camp on Tuesday. Their what's it called? Report. Their rookies report, because they play the Cardinals in the Hall of Fame game, so their training camp is going to, rookies report on Tuesday, and I believe everybody else reports on Wednesday, so that's going to be coming up cool. But yeah, so for the Panthers, I think the Jalen Phillips contract was a little bit rich. Chuba Hubbard is a running back one and not a whole lot behind him. I think that's not going to be great. Kenny Pickett is QB2 in a bad quarterback room is for the Buccaneers. I would have extended Baker Mayfield. I think that hiring Zach Robinson as your new offensive coordinator is very uninspiring, and I think it's dumb that they kept Todd Bowles, but I feel like I understand why you do. Jawan Taylor for the Falcons, I don't think that's good. I think it's funny that they did it, though. It's a good bit. I think that there's a lot of Cleveland that came with Kevin Stefanski, and they didn't do a lot at wide receiver. For the Saints, stop doing Zach Wilson. For the love of God, stop. They let Luke Fortner go. It's going to make them have that center is going to be in a tough spot if Eric McCoy goes down. And they didn't get a pass rusher, and they doesn't seem like they necessarily tried to get a pass rusher. And that's very frustrating to me. It's very frustrating. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't even draft one. They got Kristen Miller in the second round. He's a D tackle. It's like, ugh. Come on, guys. Okay. Thank you guys very much for joining me. That has been the NFC South. This is solid. My name's Jake. Did it all in one take. One take, Jake. I will talk to you guys later about the AFC South. And we'll talk about the positives there, then the negatives there. All right. Bye.